Jameis Winston gets the start Sunday, and nothing about that sentence feels like a small detail. It's a pivot, a shorthand for chaos. Brian Daboll is gone, Mike Kafka is the interim, Jaxson Dart is stuck in concussion protocol, and the Giants are scrambling for any steady hand they can find. Winston is that hand for now, a veteran with arm talent, history, and a volatile ledger. And the Packers get his first start under a new Giants regime that's trying to stop the bleeding at 2-8. This decision is less about Winston's upside and more about circumstance. Dart had been the spark, mobile, aggressive, and willing to make plays with his legs and his arm. He left in the fourth quarter versus Chicago after taking a hit on a designed run, and the concussion protocol obliged the team to be cautious. With Dart unavailable for at least this week's game, the Giants needed an experienced voice who can manage a huddle, move the offense, and not create more problems. Jameis fits that bill in theory. He's a former top-of-the-class thrower, comfortable leading an offense and making plays downfield. In practice, the cost is obvious. Winston's turnover history and penchant for gunslinger decisions are well documented. Russell Wilson hasn't given the Giants a reliable option behind Dart, and his late-game possessions when he relieved Dart didn't inspire massive confidence. That pushed the staff to elevate Winston into the number 2 role and now into the start. Mike Kafka, who's been in the building and around the room, said he trusts Winston and leaned on the veteran's leadership when announcing the move. That's not nothing. Leadership matters when you rip the playbook, institute new routines, and need to steady a locker room after a head coach is fired. Let's break down what this likely means schematically. With Winston under center, you can expect the Giants to lean on quicker reads and more structure, schemed rollouts, heavy use of play action to mask protection, and an emphasis on getting the ball out without needing long, sustained drives that could expose a shaky offensive line. Winston's arm compresses defenders with shot plays, so intermediate crossers and seam concepts are in play. But offensive coordinator choices will also reflect the staff's desire to limit interceptions. Conservative game plans that milk short completions and yards after catch will probably dominate, which in turn puts pressure on the running game and the offensive line to sustain drives. Defensively, the Giants need more than a steady QB to right the ship. Their recent loss showed special teams meltdowns and late-game penalties that killed their chances. Whether Winston can deliver enough scoring to cover those miscues is an open question. The Packers present both a threat and an opportunity. They can be schematically exploitable, but Aaron Rodgers, if healthy, still forces respect. This week is less about winning a war of X's and O's and more about stabilizing the environment. Minimize turnovers, limit explosive plays, and keep the game within reach. From a roster and franchise perspective, this is a message. The Daboll era is over, and Kafka gets to audition as an interim leader. The team announcing Winston as the starter signals the front office isn't ready to hand the keys to a rookie right now, or at least prefers the optics of a veteran while evaluating the next steps. That protects the team from the narrative of panic, but it raises questions about long-term direction. If Dart clears protocol soon, does he resume the job? If he's out longer, does Winston's performance create momentum for him? And where does Russell Wilson fit once everyone is healthy? These are roster questions that will reverberate beyond Week 11. There's also a human element. Concussion protocol isn't a storyline to rush. Dart has already hit the concussion mark multiple times this year. The Giants must balance competitive urgency with long-term health. Fans want instant answers, but the medical imperative should prevail. A cautious approach protects the franchise and the player. The team must be ready to pivot if Dart needs more time. What should fans expect on Sunday? If Winston plays, expect him to test the field early, downfield strikes on designed opportunities, and one-shot shots to his top targets. But also expect conservative sequencing, short goals on first and second down, rolling the pocket on third and manageable, and trying to lean on the run to keep drives alive. Special teams have to be tightened up. The Giants can't afford the giveaway plays that sank them last week. Defensively, the unit must win the turnover battle, clean up penalties, and shorten the field for whichever offense steps on the grass. Ultimately, this move is a symptom of a franchise in mid-repair. The front office, coaching staff, and players are in triage mode. Steady the ship, Find clarity at quarterback and stop the free fall. Winston's start is a pragmatic choice, a veteran plug to buy time and clarity. It won't solve the Giants' deeper problems overnight, but it gives Kafka and the staff something to build around this week: structure, experience, and hopefully fewer self-inflicted wounds. Final thought: if Winston plays mistake-free football and the Giants find a way to win, the conversation shifts from panic to resilience. If mistakes return and the losses pile up, the narrative will pivot back to the youth movement and the inevitability of trying Shedder Sanders sooner rather than later. For now, the immediate objective is less glamorous: stabilize, compete, and make sure the concussion protocol is respected. The rest will sort itself out in time, and in the meantime, Sunday's performance will be a measuring stick for Kafka's interim tenure and the Browns' long-term quarterback saga.